Hello everyone, Source Codex here with an interesting little story about a cassette called the WC album by the Eugene Ormandy Philadelphia Orchestra. I had this on cassette tape that I dubbed from an LP, but it was not in very good condition. I couldn't clean it up very well. So 3 times now I have bought the WC album on cassette that covers 2 LPs, and 3 different times the cassette has been in bad shape. It drug, it froze up, wow and flutter, and sounded terrible. Well, after I bought this cassette for the 3rd time, I went online to see if I could figure out how to fix it. And I found out on YouTube that some guy was describing the fact that tapes get worn out, losing lubricant. So he said to buy 3M08877, squirt a little bit of it right here onto a Q-tip. Then what you're supposed to do is, if I can do this right now, you have the tape all on the right hand side. Then you take your lubricated Q-tip and you push it down into this hole. I'm not going to do it now, but basically what you're going to have is cassette tape pushed to the rear, and lubricated Q-tip will be pressing against it, kind of like that, by pushing it down into this hole carefully. Then, if you have the right kind of tape deck, which has a compartment that opens up, you can use a cheap cassette tape deck. I used my Sony combo deck, and by popping the top, what you do is you hit rewind, and you rewind all of this cassette to this side. Then you flip it over, repeat the process. This will all be over here. Put your Q-tip in with your lubricant a little bit more and do a rewind. Well, I did the rewind and the lubricant on both sides and tried to play it. It did not sound correct at all. In the video, he said sometimes you need to let the lubricant of the tape and the tape with the lubricant, it needs to work its way into the tape. And that's what I did. I waited, not 24, not 48, but I waited like 3-4 days. This could be the 5th day I waited without trying to play it again. And I'm happy to say that what you're hearing right now as I'm transferring the cassette tape into digital signal, the defective tape I bought a few weeks ago on Amazon, it is now playing perfectly. So, it has worked fine on side 2. I'm playing side 1 right now and converting it to digital, as you see. And this tape, what I'm going to do with this one, which was defective, another guy online said there's a quicker and easier method to get stuck tapes unstuck. Is you take a hair dryer and you blow on these areas where the reel goes around. Same on this side. And while the tape is warm, not hot, you set the hair dryer to medium. You take an item like this, a dental pick, which I ordered off of Amazon, not too costly, and you take that pick and you lodge it right, let me see if I can point here, excuse me, you lodge the dental pick right under this lip here. And while your tape cassette deck itself is warm from the hair dryer, you lift up with the dental pick. On this second defective tape, which I've dubbed as the heat fix tape, I'm going to do the same thing as the video, and I'm going to report back to you later and try and tell you whether or not the heat and the dental tip pick method works as well, which will be quicker than waiting several days for the lubricant to go in. But I can attest to method one is working fine. I mean, you can hear everything. It's nice and clear, and I'll be able to go in and get rid of the tape hiss and any other noise, and I will have a nice recording of the Debussy album from a cassette, from a formerly defective cassette. Okay, part 2 will be the analysis of the heat method, heating the case itself. This one will be the heat method. The lube method worked absolutely perfect. No complaint about that method at all. The heat method that was discussed elsewhere, oh, forget it. The heat method that was discussed elsewhere on YouTube, the guy got a lot of comments saying that it worked. So I'm going to see if it works. And if it's an immediate fix within a few minutes, then it is superior to the lube method, which you have to wait days for the tape to soak up the lubricant. And maybe you could do a combination of both. Maybe you could get this case that holds the tape in a better working condition and get the case loosened up with the heat method and the dental pick, and also, as the tape you're hearing right now, playing fine with the lube method, you can use a combination. If you want to be anal about things, like I tend to be. So you got lube and heat. And we'll see how the heat and the dental pick method works. So, if you've got old cassette tapes that just aren't playing right, and it's very possible it's the only form that you can find that music in, which was the case with the Debussy album, then fix your cassette tape. Use a software program like Gold Wave, put your line in into your microphone, line in, get your levels set, and you're good to go. You have got a digital copy of your rare, hard to find music. Burn it to CD. Make at least 7 copies of anything digital. Elsewise, it really doesn't exist. I usually have copies on my terabyte disk inside my computer, and then I add copies to my multi-terabyte hard drive enclosures. That way, I've got it everywhere. And if you really want to protect digital music, subscribe to a digital storage site like MediaFire and upload all your stuff there. And you've got a backup online in the cloud, so to speak. All right, part 2 coming up, the analysis of the heat and dental pick method. I thought I'd do a quick review, overlook of fixing a stuck cassette tape or a dragging cassette tape where the lubricant has dried out. And what you need is 3M 08877 wet type silicone lubricant plus. Now you put this applicator tube on and you spray a little bit on a Q-tip to where you see that it's obviously wet. You don't want it dripping wet, but you want it moist. And then I will go to the next step. You have your cassette oriented like this with the bulk of the tape on one side, and you're going to insert the lubricated Q-tip here. I will show you what that looks like. Okay, your Q-tip is inserted in the hole as seen here with the lubricated cotton tip, and you press it in so that the tape itself is running underneath the moistened Q-tip. You then take this tape set up like this and you put it in your cassette deck. Hopefully it's one that you can leave the top open while you are doing your treatment. And what you do once you find or obtain or already have a cassette deck that'll work, you put it on rewind. Then once all the tape is on this side, you flip it over and you repeat the process. I went ahead and lubricated the other end of the Q-tip and used that end to treat the other side. I just did it once on each side. Now I immediately tried to play the tape after treatment. It still didn't sound right. It didn't work. I left the tape sit idle in the cassette deck. I took the Q-tip out and I let the tape sit idle in the cassette deck for over 72 hours just to make sure the lubricant penetrated the tape properly. And then, as you saw earlier in the video, I went ahead and started playing it, running my digital recorder, and it played absolutely perfect. All right, the next thing in the video will show how a bad tape sounds. I've got 2 of this exact tape, and I'm going to try the heat method on it. So I can attest to the fact, as indicated elsewhere online, the lubricant method works. Okay, I'm playing a defective tape right now so you get a sense of how it sounds. You hear it's dragging, wowing, fluttering. The notes are going in and out of tune. Not acceptable at all. Okay, I flipped the tape over and listen to that. Barely moving. Very distressing. Alright, I'm now going to try the heat fix and get rid of this god-awful distortion. Okay, the heat method requires hair dryer, your tape to fix, and a dental pick, which will help pull the actual case up. I'm going to go ahead and try and do this with the camera running live. I have it set on warm, not hot, for medium heat. And here we go. Trying to heat up the tape, not too much. Just trying to get it warm. And I'm blowing right here at the hole where the little reels are, the plastic teeth. That's getting pretty warm. Maybe a little warmer. All right, I'm going to try pulling this outward. And I'm going to hold it like this, assuming that it's going to cool while I'm pulling it outward. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, heat the same hole on the other side. Maybe I'll zoom in this time so you can get more of a close-up on what I'm doing. Let me adjust my tripod here. Back out a little. Okay, this is very homemade, as you can tell. All right, let's try it again. I don't kick the tripod over. Let's heat the other side. Warm, but not warm enough. Not warm enough to denature the case. That's pretty warm. So I'm going to pull up on this right now. And I'm going to hold it a little while. And I'm going to assume that if I do get this hole fixed, that the other hole with the cogs and the reel, the spokes, so to speak, they're probably going to need the same kind of treatment. And I'm holding this a pretty good while, long enough, I think, for the tape to, the case to cool down in this looser shape. Okay, still pretty warm, not terribly warm. Don't want to ruin the actual tape inside. All right, let's heat up the other side. Not really warm enough yet. I got the hair dryer set on medium and the fan set on high. Thanks to my wife for the loan of the hair dryer. I'm bald, so I wouldn't even need one of these. Okay, that's pretty warm. I'm going to work fast while it's warm. Grab hold and pull it out. I can feel the warmth coming from the whole case itself right now. So we should be at the deformation level to deform this case and pull it out so that these reels don't drag and the tape doesn't drag. You heard how terrible it sounded. And if this doesn't work, well, I think I'll probably just lubricate this one like I did the one earlier in the video. The guy that does this online and sort of demonstrated this method got a lot of comments saying that it worked. So I'm going to see if it works. Okay, this should be long enough. Let's cook her a little bit on the other side. You got to get the case warm or it's not going to work trying to pull it apart with the dental pick. Oh, that's pretty warm. All right, gonna work fast and pull this baby out while the getting is good. All right. Okay, we've pulled already in 1, 2, 3 previous pulls. This is the last pull, the fourth pull on the last hole on the flip side. And I'm going to hold her here a pretty good while just to be sure it takes. So the lube method, you're just going to have to buy some 3M wet lubricant online, which is not that expensive, and get a Q-tip and have a tape player with a door that opens up so that you can do the rewind with the Q-tip sticking out. I guess if your door didn't open up far enough, you could cut the Q-tip and just leave the tip with the cotton and the lubricant in. I don't know. And this method, you just need a hair dryer and a dental pick, which you can buy for cheap on Amazon. Okay, that should be enough. The tape's cooled down in the shape it's going to be. So let's give it a try. The moment of truth. Okay, here's the tape playing after the heat method. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's stop it and fast forward it a bit. Make sure, excuse the camera. I'm sure I'm hitting fast forward. All right, I'm going to fast forward a bit. All right, I'm going to hit play. Well, to my professional music reviewer and remastering ears, that sounds great to me. Let's flip her over. When I flipped it over last time is when I got the terrible drag. So let's see how it sounds now. Well, what do you know? The really slow dragging part on the other side of the tape sounded awful before the heat treatment. And listen to it now. It sounds perfect to me. So, what I've got is I had, I'm on Zoom. No wonder everything was jumping around. But never mind, this is homemade, so who cares? Homemade videos for YouTube. So this album, the WC album, this tape in here, I gave the lube treatment. Sounds perfect, plays perfect. I didn't do anything to the case, no heat treatment, no dental pick. And now, the same tape with the same problems that you just heard, I treated with the heat method and the dental pick, and it's playing just fine. In my Sony combination tape, radio, and CD player. It's playing great. I got no complaints. No complaints at all. So the heat method worked on my second copy of this tape. And these tapes both have like about 43 minutes on each side. And makes for sort of a long tape. And of course, you know, these are professionally created tapes. But I actually heard what sounded like to me a pop and a click like the beginning of a record. And had a lot of tape hiss, which I denoised all of that tape hiss and got rid of the pops and clicks at the beginning of these tapes. I was shocked to hear that. And now I've got two of these tapes that play just fine. The lube method and the heat method. And the thing that's superior about the heat method, the fix was instantaneous. Within the short time to do the heat treatment and the dental pick, and then I popped it in the player. Works perfect. The lube job required rewinding through the whole tape, holding a Q-tip, or the Q-tip being held in the hole like I demonstrated earlier. Then you got to flip the tape over, re-lube the Q-tip, and rewind the other side. And you can't immediately put the tape in, at least not this particular brand of tape, and listen to it. It still sounded like crap. So like I said, I let it sit and the lubricant penetrate for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 days. And I thought, what the heck, I'm going to play and see how it sounds. So both methods work, lube and heat. And in my opinion, probably if you're somebody like me and you want to listen to stuff now, the heat and dental pick method is superior because your stuff is ready now. Some people are going to say, well, the tape's not lubricated. You made it the case a little bigger, so the reels work a little bigger, but you still got old tape that should be treated with lubricant. So I say, what the heck? Open the case up with the heat and the dental pick method, and then do your lube method to sort of revitalize, relubricate your tape, and you're good to go for many, many years. So, okay. That's it for my repair methods on tapes. I wanted to compare them side by side. I am quite impressed. And at the end of the video, you'll see a screenshot of my remastered WC album, denoised. I left the EQ the same, and it's a screenshot from my phone. I now have a remastered WC album for myself. When this album came out, it was 2 LPs, a gatefold album. So that was a big deal. All right, signing off. There's a screenshot from my telephone showing my WC album is up and ready to go. And here's the artwork that I created to tag my MP3 files.